Mega Dragonite perfectly captures everything wrong with Mega Evolution and shows why it's bad. First off, the design. This is just a terrible design, and now it makes sense why we never got Mega Flygon. Flygon was going to get a Mega Evolution, but it didn't, due to design challenges. So Game Freak knows the pressure. They have to make it perfect. Now, unfortunately, Game Freak has dropped those high standards in the last decade, which is explained by James Turner being the art director in Pokemon Sword and Shield, Generation 8, Generation 9, Pokemon Legends Arceus designs. Terrible. But here, we can kind of see what happened with Mega Flygon. For Arune, he needed to have a Pokemon that could use Fly and Secret Power, which are perfect for finding secret bases. And the only Hoenn Pokemon that wasn't used by a key character that could fit that was Flygon. It does not Mega Evolve. Flygon had the potential to have a Mega Evolution since X and Y, so it was also up for possibility in X and Y. They couldn't do it. Alright, let's try Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Still can't get the design correctly. No Mega Flygon forever. We were unable to complete a design, so it was dropped from consideration. Mega Pokemon are very special, and they have more weight to them than regular evolutions for both the fans and developers. That we have over a decade of anticipation for a potential Pokemon to get a Mega. It better be done right, and if it isn't, well, now we're just stuck with this awful design forever, and there's really no defending it, no matter how you look at it. Like, bro, that tail. Like, that is just that's just nonsensical growth. That doesn't make any sense. Even if, like, you're trying to go with the cope of, oh, but it's based off of Dragonair. This isn't even based off of Dragonair. Dragonair has the wings on the side of its head. Has anyone ever seen Dragonite? I saw someone say, oh, but it's like the little mini wings on its head. You mean the feelers? That aren't even close to where the wings are? Coming out of the top of the head makes no sense for Dragonite. It's not like the horn mutated or anything, because the horn is here on Mega Dragonite. So yeah, we can actually see, like, a small amount of, like, Dragonair becoming Dragonite. Bringing previous evolution traits into a Mega Evolution is not what Mega Evolution is about. Mega Ampharos is the exception, not the rule, and it might be the lone exception. So when you look at this, like, yeah, this is actually the worst possible design for Mega Dragonite. And the more I look at it, the more gross the design is. Again, the tail proportions don't make any sense, and the wings just sprouting out of the top of its head. That's just disgusting. And then we also have these tumors coming out of its arms and legs that don't do anything. And also it's competing with other Megas, and we get into the other problem of Mega Evolution. It's completely unbalanced. Now, I think Smogon is a complete joke. They're babies that ban everything they can't beat. They don't play real Pokemon, and it's just a completely casual format. But it does capture how the casual Pokemon community feels about Mega Evolution, and it's way too powerful. Banned, banned, banned. Another Mega, like we get into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, banned, banned, more bans, all the Megas just getting banned, suspect tested, never mind, banned. So Mega Pokemon are too powerful, and that's something I can agree with, because you're supposed to use it as an ace. If your Mega Sweeper Pokemon doesn't get 3 KOs, you're probably losing the battle, or if you don't use your Mega to neutralize the opponent's Mega, you're probably losing the battle, which makes the battles really unfun and focused on one thing. It's all about the Megas. That's why Dynamax is way better competitively, because you only have 3 turns of consequence and then some basic stat boost to deal with. Regular Dragonite has been a competitive menace for many generations because of that multi-scale ability, and for most of Pokemon Sword and Shield and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's been a top 3 most used Pokemon. So how do you deal with that competitively? Because, like, oh, you get a free Dragon Dance, you get a free Swords Dance. According to the lore, this thing is faster. It can now fly faster and farther than before. So if it gets a speed boost, if it goes to 100 speed, if it goes to 110 speed, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have an item. It just needs to go Swords Dance, now it outspeeds everything, and then it wins. Also, does it keep the multi-scale ability? If it doesn't, regular Dragonite gets a free turn of multi-scale. Megas now has bonus defenses to make up for being at 60% health. And it's the most disgustingly unbreakable Pokemon ever. And if it keeps multi-scale, you have an infinite engine of Dragon Dance and Roost, and Dragonite is just so powerful, it doesn't really care about its item. The item is just a luxury that slightly augments Dragonite's base insane power. But then on the flip side, if Game Freak knows this and they like nerf it or they just kind of make it okay or even power neutral, then there's no reason to Mega Evolving Dragonite ever, because it's just worse than Mega Evolving any Pokemon, and that goes into like the problem with Mega Garchomp. Mega Garchomp is so much worse than Garchomp, there is no situation where you ever want to use Mega Garchomp, because Garchomp likes its items, and also likes the rough skin ability more than Sandforce. And even if you like try some kind of team with like, oh, well, we'll go Tyranitar or Hippo, and then go Sandforce, Big Crusher, Mega Garchomp, Garchomp runs Life Orb, and then has more speed than Mega Garchomp. So like, you can get to the point where, oh, this is a completely worthless Mega, it's a wasted slot, another Pokemon deserved it more to try to get some kind of relevance back into it, because we already have like one of the most used fan favorite Pokemon, and then it gets a Mega and now it's completely nothing. So the first reveal for Pokemon Legends ZA is the same thing with Mega Dragonite. Bad design, made worse by the potential, by everyone's over-decade ambition and dreaming and fan-arting of what Mega Dragonite should have been, just to get a bad design, and now it's either going to completely shatter competitive, or it's not going to exist at all, because you only get to Mega once, and if it's not worth Mega-ing, then it doesn't really exist. And that goes to the other problem with Mega Evolution, is that you can only use one. So, like, it's cool to look at the Mega designs, but in practice, in application, you also can't really have more than one Mega Pokemon on your team, unless you are playing a restricted format, like VGC 2014, bring 6, pick 4, or in singles, bring 6, pick 3. So you can have multiple on your team, but actually using them in battle, you can't bring both, because it has to use up the Mega Stone slot. And you can't have it to where the Mega Stone is used from your bag and they get to retain an item, because Mega Rayquaza is the silliest, most unacceptably powerful thing ever. So you're just stuck, where it's like, I'm only allowed to use one, even if I like two and have them on my team. I have to build around it, or else I'm not going to get enough value out of my ace Pokemon, and I'm going to get absolutely stomped by the opponent's Mega, because it is mandatory. If Mega exists, you have to have a Mega Pokemon on your team. I can understand that as being, like, cool from a lore perspective, but when it comes to, like, objective game balance design, it's like, well, that's kind of lame, that if I don't like any of these, I'm forced to use one and find a strategy. Now, fortunately, there's enough Megas with good designs and diverse competitive strategy to where everyone can pick a Mega that they want and then put it into their team, but you kind of have to build a little bit around it with their team, which is an unfortunate thing that really, like, restricts and locks down competitive Pokemon. And for every Mega you add, that's another Mega that can't be used. And if it has a bad design, or if it's just not usable competitively, or even like in the context of the game where it's like, well, it's not even fun to use against the Elite Four or the Battle Tower. Well, now again, we have another wasted slot problem, and if it's a bad design, then no one wants to use it. But that's where, like, at least Game Freak dodged a lot of that problem. Like, all the Megas that came out are just really good, except I think Mega Garchomp might actually be the worst designed one. Now it's Mega Dragonite. But everything else, like, oh, you can see it has its place. It's actually really cool. The Mega Evolution animation is the most popular video on the Pokemon YouTube channel with 83 million views. So you can actually kind of see, like, yes, it captures hype. It feels really cool. This is why people love Mega Evolution so much, but it has so much baggage and so many problems behind it. And then also seeing the other Megas, like, yo, they are cool, and they are worth having and existing in the world. But now, like, with Dragonite, I don't know. But this is just actually one of the coolest things ever. Megas build and bring so much hype. And then you're just stuck with their consequences. Actually, after seeing this again, I feel like I've been a little too harsh on Megas in retrospect, because it's not like it was never worth doing. That I think for its time, like, only in Generation 6, Megas are good, worth it, and a great experience to have. But after that, like, now we overload it with Generation 7, you try to add other gimmicks on top of it, doesn't work, and then if you just drag it around for a decade, you're stuck with it. It's like Megas worked as a one-off, but then it was too good, it was too awesome, and they had to keep on carrying it, and then the problem just became, like, worse and worse over time, where it's like, you know what? I just want to play simple, honest Pokemon again, but I can't because Megas exist. And I love everything about Mega Sableye, and the Mega made me enjoy Sableye, but it led to a problem where it was the only Mega Pokemon I used in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, except for Mega Lopunny, because it had the really funny fake out last resort cheese. And it was scrappy, so it hit Ghost. That was kind of neat. And Mega Sableye was so perfect for my playstyle, that became a problem because it means I had to use it 90% of the time if I wanted to keep being the best Pokemon player in the world and win almost all of my battles. It became the only Pokemon that mattered. It's like, okay, Mega Sableye, Togekiss, Superior. I'm just playing that and winning 80% of my battles. And when I was using Mega Sableye, no one thought it was good. No one was using Mega Sableye. So I was ahead of the curve with, like, the best Mega Pokemon. I was saying that the entire time when no one else thought it was the best Mega Pokemon. And if you want to have fun playing a different Mega Pokemon, then a strong Mega is going to run you over. It's not good for the game. Also, as the game evolved, it had some weird implication with Megas, because in Pokemon Sun and Moon, the turn order got determined after the Mega Evolution instead of before. So naturally, this is going to buff certain Megas, but it's also going to hurt other Megas. This ruined Mega Sableye because you used to be able to have Prankster and Magic Bounce on the same turn you Mega Evolved, so I could use a status move while being protected from the opponent's statuses. Instead, now it's, oh, I Mega Evolve, and then I take the hit because I'm super slow, and then I use my status move, so I lose my Prankster edge. So Pokemon that get faster feel good about it, Pokemon that have like weird ability interactions or get slower feel bad about it, so it didn't really like benefit Mega Evolution, it just kind of reworked it and then made it feel worse overall. And then there's just completely unplayable Mega Evolutions like Ampharos. Ampharos has one of the best Mega designs, can't use it, didn't get buffed or reworked, so I mean, like, that's something for Pokemon Champions, but if that doesn't happen, then it's GG right there. Mega Houndoom, just completely unplayable. The design is also kind of mid, so things can fall flat, and then if you're a bad player that needs to crutch the meta, you're just going to only use the same thing over and over again, regardless if you like it or not. That's going to have some problems. And then other Megas, yeah, Mega Aggron, kind of cool, mostly a mid design, unplayable. Mega Alakazam being the only Mega to get plus 90 to its stats because plus 100 would be too broken. Then turns out, actually, Mega Alakazam needs the specs or the Focus Sash more. So Mega is cool. Restrictions aren't cool, and then there's a lot of problems and implications that go behind it, and like I said at the beginning of the video, Dragonite captures all of that. That's either going to completely warp competitive and be make the game unplayable, or it needs to be unplayable to save competitive, and then if its design is bad, well, now you're just kind of stuck with this. And with modern Pokemon designs, I don't have faith for the next batch. Like, the quality control of Pokemon designs has gone down, and we can already see, like, the quality control for Mega designs has also plummeted. Like, yeah, it's impossible to have 100% great Mega designs for every single one of them, but for Generation 6, Game Freak actually crushed it when you really look at it. Like, even Abomasnow, like, that's a good design, actually. They made Abomasnow cool. Now, I didn't really like the designs for Mega Latios and Mega Latios. Like, that's just too clunky and just throwing too much stuff on it. So it's like you either over-design good or you over-design bad, and then that's just kind of how it is. And a lot of this could have just been evolution. That should have been evolution. We saw Mega Medicham actually have like a lot of niche power inside of it. It's like, yeah, half of these should have been evolutions. Other half, I understand why not. A fourth evolution gimmick would have also been like a pretty cool thing to introduce into Pokemon at some point. Instead, they went with Megas. They had to take it back. Now it's back in, and now we just have to kind of like suffer the consequences of that. It was really cool as a generational one-off, and then also we can see like the gimmicks. This is where Game Freak went, oh, now we're just doing cool gimmicks. So because of Megas, we're kind of just forced into doing that. At some point, we're forced into bringing back Mega Evolution, so it was too successful for its own good. And now we're facing the consequences for it. So, the monkey's paw curls, and it's only going to get uglier from here with Mega Evolution and modern Pokemon. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.